Good evening, viewer. You're most welcome to the Nile Cast weekly news roundup on West Nile Television, where we give you the weekly highlights of the week every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Okumringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at some of the news that has made headlines in this week. The Apostolic Nuncio to Uganda visited Arua Diocese and celebrated the Holy Mass with the Christians of Idiofe Cathedral Parish. The chairperson of the laity Arua Diocese used the occasion to present to the Archbishop Bianco some of the achievements and challenges the diocese is handling. Emmanuel Agele attended the Holy Mass and he reports. Take a look.
Christians of the Catholic faith in Arua Diocese turned out in large numbers to celebrate a Holy Mass headed by the Papal Nuncio to Uganda, His Excellency Archbishop Luigi Bianco, who came on a maiden pastoral visit to Arua Diocese. During the celebration of the Mass, the chairman of the laity in Arua Diocese, Peter Alioni, took the privilege to address the congregation on the outstanding issues in the diocese.
The Catholic faith has grown, and many achievements have been recorded. Namely, Catholic Diocese was demarcated out of the original Arua Diocese. Arua Diocese now has 8 vicariates, including 1 vicariate for refugees, 11 deaneries, 60 parishes, and 767 chapels. There are 142 diocesan priests and 1,077 catechists. Many of our own sons and daughters have joined the religious congregation of Marian Brothers and other congregations for Reverend Sisters. In physical development, education, healthcare projects, agriculture, vocational training, women empowerment, good family promotion, environmental protection, and so on, were and are being undertaken at the levels of the people's capacity. Evangelization and witnessing of Christ by the laity is being encouraged through the Council of Laity, lay apostolic movements and associations such as Catholic Action, Catholic Women's Association, Catholic Charismatic Renewal, Young Christian Students Association, Christian Family Association, Singers Association, Catholic Men's Association, Legion of Mary, Neo-Catechumenal Way, Holy Childhood Movement, etc. We are therefore very grateful to the Catholic Church for the holistic evangelization that was done and will be done for our salvation.
Despite those achievements the diocese has achieved, the chairman was in person to put forth some of the challenges that the lay apostolates are facing and gave them some recommendations.
Challenges. Many Christians are not sacramental. 2. Polygamy is very common. 3. Witchcraft. 4. Many young people do not participate in the church activities and they are being misled by other people. 5. Some people are grabbing church properties such as land and money, and the poor are losing their land to the rich. 6. Rampant drug abuse, particularly alcohol. 7. Syncretism. Some recommendations. 1. Formation of the laity. Here, Lumco program is already doing much. However, more is still desired in the areas of leadership and management, social development, politics, and economic development. 2. Negotiating for a new and better land policy that protects the poor, institutions, and churches. 3. Young people to embrace self-employment skills.
The visit of the Papal Nuncio to Uganda, Archbishop Luigi Bianco, to Arua Diocese is regarded as his second coming and is considered as his maiden apostolic visit, as he is expected to tour the diocese up to Adjumani before proceeding to Gulu Archdiocese. Emmanuel Agele, West Nile TV Nile Cast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Religious and traditional leaders in the Acholi sub-region are calling for unity among the political leaders in the Acholi sub-region. According to the religious leaders, disunity among the leaders has resulted in retardation of the rehabilitation of northern Uganda. Let's have more on that story.
The fear of judgment before God compels sections of politicians to open up before the religious leaders, accusing others of using sentimental utterance while inflicting hatred and divisions among the electorates for selfish political interests.
But as leaders of Acholi, we have never allowed our people to rest and rehabilitate. We have made the community restless by spitting a lot of toxic and disunity words to the community. We have been too sentimental in our statements to the local community, and we are full of lamentation to the general masses that we lead.
Jan Francis Okili, Gulu City RCC, added that some prominent politicians are the people sabotaging government programs in the regions.
The Bible says, my people perish because of ignorance. Now, who are the people who are supposed to tell these people the truth? Who are the people who are supposed to direct these people? If the directors are deceiving them, then they continue being ignorant. If we walk the talk, then actually will develop.
Speaking during a prayer breakfast organized by Favor of God Ministry, the retired Bishop of Anglican Church, Henry Luke Oromi, called upon both political and appointed leaders serving in Acholi sub-region to embrace humility and the spirit of unity for better service delivery to their people.
If there are older leaders, please mentor the upcoming leaders. And if you are an upcoming leader and you really want to grow, lean on the shoulder of somebody who has known a little more than you are. In that case, we know not everybody has everything. Those who have can give to those who don't have, and it can only be possible when we're working together, holding our hands together.
Meanwhile, Lord David Onen Achana, the Acholi paramount chief, urges leaders in the region to consider uprooting those in poverty-stricken family in Acholi sub-region out of poverty first, if they want to enjoy the wealth they are fighting to accumulate now in future. According to the paramount chief, Lord David Onen Achana II, Acholi land is gifted with so much wealth, and political leaders are among the key stakeholders in positively mobilizing local community to use all this opportunity for positive impact in their life. Stephen Okelo, reporting for West Nile TV in Gulu City.
And more in our stories for the evening. The attempt by the Ministry of Local Government to give away Arua City Value Addition facility constructed under the Market and Agriculture Trade Improvement Program has angered the city leadership of Arua. The leaders are saying that they have not been handed over the guidelines for the management of the facility yet. Dennis Saringi reports more.
This is the multi-billion shillings value addition plant in Arua City, which is lying idle, even after it had been commissioned by the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in 2021. Last year, both the Minister and State Minister for Local Government visited the facility, and the Minister for Local Government, Raphael Magezi, while touring the facility, instructed the Commission in charge of markets to come out with the guidelines in regards to the operationalization of the facility, in which up to now the guidelines have not been availed to the city authority.
2022, we're going to 3 years, the thing is lying here. Yet we want to promote Paris development model to encourage the farmers. We need this thing to kick, it has to start working so that farmers will get encouraged that if I produce this, it will come here.
Why can't we hand this over to the city?
But on our side, from a technical point of view, to hand over this facility to the city without any clear, it's like just putting it to the The good news is that we actually have shared those guidelines. We picked the intentions and the feelings of the councils of Arua, Soroti, and Busia. They have put their input. It was that we are using to do the procurement. But if guided, no, Soroti is still being, they're just finalizing. Busia and this one it was completed at the same time. We had scheduled completing the procurement by end of August, but if guided and just that operator, the one I think that we received.
However, according to the latest development, the facility is at the verge of being given to the private operator. According to the Arua Central Division Member of Parliament, Jackson Lee Yatima, he has intercepted the process of giving out the facility to a private operator procured centrally, and contract is about to be signed, something that is not well with the Member of Parliament.
On 16th, before the President's address in Kololo, I had an interface with the Minister of Local Government, Honorable Raphael Magezi. I want to thank him so much for being upright person. I thank Minister Raphael Magezi. Minister Raphael Magezi discovered that, one, there was no guideline to operationalize these value addition facilities. Some of the staff who tried to design guidelines to operationalize this did not consult us, the leaders, where these value addition facilities are, the city leadership, to give their views in as far as developing the guideline to operationalize the value addition facility is concerned. Two, the guideline was not presented to the minister, who is in charge of all the issues pertaining Ministry of Local Government, including the markets and value additions in this country. And we were told that this document has been sneaked, is it to Attorney General or to somebody to read? I don't know who is reading before the minister reads it.
According to the document seen by Western Television, the value addition facility is to be given to MS Samia Agro Limited. Atima says he has already put injunction to the matter because as the city, they are still waiting for the guidelines which were promised by the Minister Raphael Magezi.
We discovered in this committee's meeting that a contractor has already been handpicked from Kampala. I want to thank God that this hand-picked contractor had not signed the MOU, had not signed the agreement with the ministry. Honestly, how do you float the procurement procedures? How do you just go and pick a contractor to come and run a facility in West Nile, and you impose that contractor without following the procedures of procurement, without using a committee, without using guidelines that are supposed to be used across the country? and you want to sign an agreement, what are the issues in that agreement? I want to thank Honorable Minister Raphael Magezi. He stopped that process, and I am very hopeful that the guidelines will be made in consideration with local content.
The Deputy Speaker of Arua Central Division, Arua City, Victor Lumori Vidal, the operationalization of the facility has been long overdue, and they wonder why the ministry is taking long in handing over the facility to the city leadership for operation.
The council, we were looking forward to see how best that facility can be put into use, because as we talk right now, the facility is a white elephant, and a lot of monies have been put there. Public funds have been put there, and the public and the city council is not seeing the benefits from the value addition machine.
Victor says if the facility is operationalized, more jobs will be created for the young people living in the area where the factory is located.
The number of people that value addition is going to employ is a big number, beginning from casual laborers, the technical people, and even the local revenue it will be bringing to the city council. So we're all going to miss that, because just like what the Honorable MP has put, we have people here who have capacity. We have people, circles here that can do this work. We have cooperatives here that can run that facility.
Arua City Value Addition Facility was a component of the Arua Main Market built under the Market and Agriculture Trade Improvement MATIP 2 program. Dennis Oringi, Western Television, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Oxfam Uganda, together with its partners, closed one of its biggest projects focusing on women and youth empowerment and gender equality in the West Nile region. A total of 18,000 people, inclusive of 155 persons with disabilities, have benefited from the project implemented in the 8 districts of Pakwach, Namor, Zombo, Gulu, Arua, Nebi, Kotido and Kabong. Let's have more in that story. 18,000 people, inclusive of 150 persons with disabilities, have benefited from the Irish Aid Programme grant project under Oxfam Uganda, focusing on women and youth empowerment and gender-based equality, implemented in Pakwach, Nebi, Zombo, Arua, Gulu, Lamor, Kotido and Kabong. This was revealed during the Oxfam Uganda and partners end of project meeting, celebrating the achievements and challenges faced throughout the 2017 to 2022 project tenure at Le Confidential Hotel in Arua district.
This project really impact us with enough knowledge which we can do in beekeeping. Like me, now they train me, I'm becoming even a trainer in beekeeping. I do train farmers in beekeeping. The project worked with the youth, women, men, and the person with disability. Some people, they've started with small hives. Then later on, some now reach to 20 beehives. That is the women, youth, person with disability, and also men.
The country director of Oxfam Uganda, Odokorat Shanti Francis, noted that the project has economically empowered the women and youth and also addressed the issues of gender equality in the West Nile region.
So today we are for the close-out meeting and reflecting on the achievements, the challenges that we have had since 2017 up to this year, when we're now closing this particular project. It has had a big focus on youth and women empowerment. It has worked with several groups. We're able to see some of the groups that are now exporting coffee and are processing coffee here in West Nile and exporting it to the outside countries. We've seen issues also focusing on women gender equality. So we are so proud that today we are for sort of a graduation, celebrating the success that this project has had. And we're sure that even if this particular project has closed today, the impact that it has had in the community will continue to live on as the districts have fully taken on. We've been working in partnership with them, and we hope that the different extension workers will continue to support the aspects that this project has already had in the community. Total project was about 2.8 million euros. That was for the whole Karamoja, Acholi, and in West Nile. In West Nile, we spent close to 1 million euro working with the partners that I mentioned earlier on over the 5 years period. So this is, in terms of the spend for the project, we went close to 100% spent.
The Pakwach District LC5 Chairman Omito Robertstein, on behalf of the leaders of the West Nile region, has pledged their absolute commitment to ensure that the Women and Youth Empowerment Project moves on to the different districts in the West Nile region.
We are celebrating so far the achievements and the transformation that Oxfam funded projects through various implementing partners have caused in the lives of West Nile communities in the various districts. In Pakwach, you realize Oxfam partnered with the implementing partners like UONET, who have been supporting women council leaders to try to handle the matters of gender-based violence and also ensure that gender inequality gap is bridged. And through Pashego Women Club, they also supported the aspect of economic empowerment at family level and inclusiveness, the element of women and men working together to ensure they empower the generations and then support the voiceless to raise up their matter. And therefore, as the program comes to an end, for us as district local governments, also speaking as one of the top leaders of West Nile district local governments, we are pledging our absolute commitment, committing both the technical and the civil sector to ensure that we move on with this project and also create a ripple effects to ensure that they do not only remain in the few districts or within a few sub-counties, but we cascade and spread it to cover the entire West Nile.
The Irish Aid Grant 6-year project under Oxfam Uganda commenced in 2017 to 2022, estimating cost 2.8 million euros funded by the government of Ireland. Okumuringa Christine, West Nile Television, Nile Cast. And more in our stories for the evening as the West Nile region prepares for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's tour to the region themed Securing Your Future Through Wealth Creation and Shared Prosperity. Some political leaders share their opinion towards the president's long-awaited visit to the West Nile region. Let's have more of that story.
The West Nile is president's home. It is his home, being the president of the country, and the fact that we belong to Uganda after the 1914 mistake. But what I can say is, personally, I don't expect much from the visit. Though in our culture, when a visitor is coming home, you just open the door and you don't fight a visitor in your home. Why am I saying so? We don't need to expect so much. Government has got what we call, government is now running National Development Plan 3, NDP, NDP 3, which was comprehensively done by National Planning Authority under Ministry of Finance. And there were a series of stakeholders engagement to generate priorities of all these regions, districts, and this process of planning starts right from the village, the cells, parish, sub-county, municipalities, districts, cities, and then goes to national level. So there is nothing that the president has to directly come to collect about a village called Njefu in Arua directly. There is nothing that the government does not have on our gaps pertaining to the roads, pertaining to the issue of the Arua airport we have been talking about, pertaining to bringing back our defunct water vessel. We used to have a water vessel that would traverse Lake Albert, DRC, Congo, up to Nimule. We would used to have a river port at Pakwach. There was a ship called Robert Gordon that got defunct in 1962. The issue of reviving and rejuvenating the lost glory of the railway from Tororo, from Mombasa, Tororo, Gulu, Pakwach. All these are things that were bad roads from Karuma, Pakwach, Arua, and also to Democratic Republic of Congo, and also our the issue of education in specialized areas. So all these are information that the president has. The government has all these contained in the plan, and there have been several areas, opportunities and fora where these issues have been raised. So the president doesn't need really to make a special visit again to collect these things over and over. If it is about the launch of 2026, well, we shall support, because personally I have not seen somebody who is very ready to, they say the devil you know is better than the one that you do not know. For us who are at the forefront of this NRM government, more so me as the mobilizer for Pakwach district. Moreover, I man the gate. People are going to blame us. We are only lucky that they have not stoned us, some of us, to death in this region, because we have been lying to people on behalf of the president and on behalf of NRM government. Personally, I am weighing on whether to attend the visit or not.
He's coming to launch the Paris Development Model. If then I was given the opportunity to speak to him about the Paris Development Model, I would still ask that these policies be reviewed, because of recent this project was launched in the district, and the way this project was being, the minds of people that were prepared, they're supposed to be in groups, but as you see right now, monies are now coming into private accounts, and these people have not even accessed the money yet. So I feel because the beginning of the project, the success also will leave us to look at how it will progress in future. So I feel if really would still be given more time to review on this project that is going to come, especially the group of people that we are targeting, they give us another time to review it for a better progress.
And more in our stories for the evening. The construction of the 2 bridges on River Enyao that started last year in October is remaining with just 2 months to be completed, according to the contract signed between Arua District and the contractor Nemis Establishment Company. However, the delay of the works at the 2 sites is making the members of the public disappointed to query whether there will be a value for money. Joseph Jurwa reports more.
The leaders of Arua District are optimistic of the completion of Enyao Bridge construction works. This assurance was made amidst delayed completion of the construction works on the 2 bridges since October 2022. According to the site engineer for Nemis Establishment, a company contracted to undertake the construction of the 2 bridges, Chaco Fred, said that the works are expected to have reached 60%, but for various reasons, the work is still at tender stage.
By today, we should be at about 60% of our time duration for the construction of this bridge. The construction works is expected to take about 8 months by the terms and conditions in the contract, and as I said, we should have consumed about 60% of the time given for the works. In terms of the physical progress, we should be at about 40% of our physical progress in terms of the construction works.
He assured the local community not to be worried of the labor force since there is adequate manpower for the work.
We have an 100% nationality recruitment. We don't have an international labor force recruited on site, and indeed we pledged to the community since the commencement of the project that we shall make advantage of this project to make sure all the community members benefit in one way or the other. Put on ground is to make sure I have adequate labor that can do what I want at a particular time. When another labor, like any specialty labor is required at another site, I have to shift. That shifting should not worry the community. The shifting of labor, shifting of materials should not worry the community.
One of the challenges that were encountered and delayed the progress was during the excavation process that saw them land on a hard rock. Meanwhile, as the rains return, there are worries of delaying the work further.
When we started the earthworks excavations, we met the challenge of the rock. up to the extent of even blasting the rock after trying all the possible ways. Finally, after blasting the rock, then we had to achieve the required level of the depth for our excavation to start the construction works.
The good thing is the activities they are doing does not stop them from proceeding with the other. Like per now, they are doing reinforcement on this bridge one, on this bridge to right, on this bridge two. At the same time, on bridge one, they are draining water using a generator to create them space to do work. So for now, I am not seeing any much challenge.
That thing to heal properly, it needs what? Water. If water keeps flowing down, the water that is poured, I have seen them even going to hawker to buy blankets. They hang blankets there, they pour water so that water is all the time there on the wall. So let's leave it to them. But for me, I want to say all the stakeholders, we must have our eyes wide open.
Alfred Okonji, the district LC5 chairperson, assured the public not to be worried of the rains as the engineering department is determined of delivering. And he added that some of the delays might be as a result of delayed release of funds.
Problem of release of funds from the World Bank to the contractor. It took a bit of time. Okay, so that is a technical issue. We shouldn't really divulge so much on that. Ours is that the bridge must be a quality bridge that can last for over, the engineers say over 100 years, others say 200 years. But for me, as a leader, I am after the quality work.
The construction of the two bridges on River Inyao is expected to be completed in 8 months, starting from 4th October 2022. Joseph Chura, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories for the evening. The Office of the Auditor General, Arua Regional Office, engaged the media representatives of Arua District in a bid to equip journalists with the information using the Office of the Auditor General's reports to bring issue-based, researched and evidence-based stories to the public and to ensure improvement of service delivery in the West Nile region. Let's have more of that story. The Office of the Auditor General Arua branch has pledged partnership with media representatives in Arua district in order to collectively ensure the improvement of service delivery in the West Nile region. This pledge was made during a media engagement with the Office of the Auditor General at Golden Courts Hotel in Arua City.
Arua, we are number one. For us, we aspire to be a model region office that adds value to society through our professional audit approaches. The branch is committed to providing its stakeholders with the independent results that promote good governance for better service delivery. Due to various interventions we've made as an office and as our partners, what do I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, we have what we call a tripartite. To remind me, tripartite what? Where we are PPDA, IDG, and Lotengel. We work together. In this meeting, we have called the media. I think we are going to add them to be the fourth, because we want you to help us, because we cannot see everything, but through your work, you can see something we have not seen, and you bring to our attention, and we help improve on service delivery in this country.
The Principal Auditor in charge of the Office of the Auditor General Arua Regional Office, Martin Mambuza, provided the key issues and findings affecting service delivery in the West Nile region.
We undertook a review of interventions to assess the extent of service delivery. You talked about the video. We have heard about the people arrested. And just last week, His Excellency didn't have kind words for those who were misusing those funds. Funds were repurposed. Funds dispersed to circles varied from one deal to the other. We observed that funds dispersed to circles as revolving funds in the island government remained idle. The same thing they said. The money came and it sat there. And I'm sure up to today it has sat. We noted that entities did not have titles. You have heard of people fighting for land, government land. There are so many. so many markets around who are fighting for land. So because you will not title, some of the same shop in that and WhatsApp, for him it runs very fast and creates a title. Before you know it, you're fighting with that person for the same land. So we found out that and we raised it to Parliament, and I'm sure they will sit at Parliament and they will come up with a collective action to that effect. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that before you spend, there should be a budget. And failure to realize all planned revenue is negatively affecting provision of services to the communities. Okay? Failure to fully utilize these funds. Because ever since we started the auditing, people are now fearing to just spend aimlessly.
The purpose of the media engagement was to equip journalists with information using the Office of the Auditor General reports to bring the issue-based, research-oriented and evidence-loaded stories to the public. Okumuringa Christine, West Nile Television, Nile Cast. Let's take a break as we return back with more stories from the Nile Cast, the weekly news roundup on West Nile Television. Please stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
Welcome back from that short break as we return back with more stories from the Nile Cast Weekly News Roundup only on West Nile Television. Shillings 2 billion fully furnished maternity ward at Koboko Hospital, funded by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, was commissioned by the State Minister of Health in charge of general duties, Honorable Anifa Kawoya, together with the UNHRC Deputy Representative Jason Hapes. Emmanuel Egele reports more.
It's my honor and privilege that today we open and commission this maternity ward.
The Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, Honorable Anifa Kawoya Bangirana, together with the United Nations High Commission for Refugee Deputy Representative Jason Hapes, handed over Koboko Hospital Maternity Ward to Koboko District Local Government. The 2.2 billion shillings fully furnished maternity ward, funded by UNHCR, have the leaders and the local communities say the facility has helped to reduce the pressure from the current maternity ward, and they have appreciated the government for such intervention.
Madam Guest of Honor, if my members of parliament will knock your door, I seek that you grant them the permission, because Koboko is a unique district. Bordering 2 international countries, the pressure on us is too much. The health facility deliveries is 250 per month. Just imagine if we deliver 250 per month, and you got that current facility, only 1 bed, 2 beds in delivery beds, and you see the pressure on the midwives, and you see the pressure on the facility we have. Our mothers are going to have rest. When you'll be giving birth, you have comfort. And the reason why we are starting to operate this, besides the main one, we have assigned 1 full doctor here, and the rest of doctors are going to operate up. So that if mothers are assessed, those who need Caesar, we take them at early age, and they'll be waiting in that small facility that we have. But those who are very strong, like the mama who came yesterday, they will be accommodated here. So it means we are going to have less pressure there, but many of the deliveries are going to be in the current facility.
We are now looking at a facility that is directly feeding into a manifesto of the NRM that is of socio-economic transformation. There is no way people can go to the middle income, which we are fighting for as a government, as a party, without having healthy people. And actually today, a guest of honor, you can witness that the fertility rates of Koboko are quite high. Even here, when you count the women who are pregnant, visibly and non-visibly, there are many. But this all is a result of the government, the intervention the government have had in child care and child health care, in the public health care, and also the bills which we are enjoying.
James Baba, Koboko County Member of Parliament, has demanded that the resources of the district should not be scattered, but instead prioritize them.
The biggest challenge here now, which has been mentioned, but you have produced something without a major element attached to it, and that is the theatre. Let's put our heads together so that this theatre can be built. I believe the design is already there. It is just now funding for implementation. You cannot have mothers delivering and developing complications and not being helped immediately. So, Honourable Minister, my plea through you, UNHCR, and to all good-willing people, that the first priority should be the theatre.
The Member of Parliament for Koboko Municipality, Dr. Charles Ayume, has vowed to see that the hospital is completed, and he has further urged parents to send children to school, as the hospital will partly solve the unemployment issues.
Let us get out of this sleep of all the time saying government has brought a hospital here. So let us send our children to school. Because a hospital cannot work with machines only. Unaweka dawa hapa, then banga anaingia anatoa dawa yake anakwenda. No, there has to be daktari, there has to be a nurse, there has to be a pharmacist, there has to be a lab technician, and so forth. So it is important we send children to school. The hospital will provide direct employment for 200 people. That is the normal staffing, paid for by government. Paid for by government. And we are talking of unemployment when we have brought a hospital here.
UNHCR is contented to have made this asset as part of the ways to strengthen the district health system, and hoping it will prompt other development partners in meeting their commitments to Uganda in the spirit of global impact on refugees.
As I said, Koboko is and has been a model refugee hosting district. From the time of arrival of refugees, Koboko's leadership requested support to manage yourselves the situation. You didn't ask others to come in and do it for you. You did it yourselves. And we came in to give the support that we could to you. You have done it. Thank you. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Uganda is pleased to have made this investment, which we expect will provide the basis for other development partners to come in and help you, Uganda, finish the job. I would also like to use this platform to urge other refugee hosting districts to come to Koboko to meet the local authorities and district officials and learn from the good model that you have done. It's my honor to hand over this fully equipped and high standard 50-bed maternity ward to the leadership of the district local government. This will deservingly serve families, mothers, and newborns of the District 12, including refugees and Ugandans alike. Thank you.
The guest of honor for the commissioning of the maternity ward, Honorable Anifa Kawea, the Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, has commended the leaders for working as a team to execute government projects.
After saying that, I trust our mission today will strengthen further partnership with our donors. All our donors headed by UNHCR, this is not the only thing. They have done a lot of things in this region, in Western region, and to the Ministry of Health. You chose it right to say that in matters of health, no one can go it alone. Globally, we work together. That is why it is called humanity. So we have to bring our hands together to ensure that we touch the hearts of the many and many majority that cannot sustain themselves in terms of health. And as a ministry, as a government, we can't do it on our own.
The state-of-art 50-bed maternity ward of Koboko Hospital, which is fully equipped, is funded by United Nations High Commission for Refugees and will serve the district's families, including Ugandans and refugee communities. And the first baby was delivered on the handover day and named after the UNHCR Deputy Representative, Jason Hebbs. Emmanuel Agele, West Nile TV Nile Cast.
And more in our stories for the evening. The State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Quiltrin Grace Freedom, urges the local community of the Acholi sub-region to practically start embracing the sustainability plan of all the projects which have been donated to them both by the government and development partners. Stephen Okello from Gulu reports more.
Despite various interventions by government and development partner in northern Uganda, little impact have been seen on the beneficiaries due to laxity in practically embracing the sustainability plan of all these programs.
And part of the reason why in northern Uganda we have lagged behind is because of lack of sustainability. We have been blamed for investments that have come to northern Uganda, and we have been challenged, why are we still poor? And we have discovered one of the reasons is because we don't maintain, we don't protect, we don't manage properly what we have got or what we have been given.
Gulu Archdiocese Bishop John Baptist Odama tasked the able ones from the community to support the elderly and disabled persons in meeting small cost which will be required to those who will be accessing services from the new eye clinic donated to the community of East Acholi by Christian Blind Missions at St. Joseph's Hospital in Kitgum.
If people who are unable, they are elderly, they cannot pay, let us group ourselves and say, this is an elder in our home, in our village, let us help her or let us help him and pay this for the treatment. This should be the spirit of charity.
Dr. Alex Basomoka, the National High Health Care Coordinator, says despite all the efforts made by government, visual impairment still remain a big problem to Uganda as a country.
Currently it is estimated that about 400,000 people in Uganda are living with visual impairment.
Tumesije Godfrey, the county program manager, Christian Blind Mission, is expecting.
We have also provided doctors, ophthalmologists, and other clinic officers for the facility in Kitgum. So the project is going to be a long way for the people of northern Uganda because it's going to be mainly supporting those who are vulnerable.
Through partnership with Christian Blind Missions and funding from Italian corporations, the specialized eye care facility is expected to serve patients from East Acholi region. The initiative is part of the 6.5 billion shilling High Health and Disability Project Fund launched this year for northern Uganda, district of Kitgum, Lamore and Arua. Stephen Okello, reporting for West Nile TV from Kitgum district.
And more in our stories for the evening. The women groups in Aruva Sub-County, Arua District have been supported by the Arua District Woman MP, Paparo Liriam, with the case support of 4 million shillings extended to the women groups on behalf of the legislators by Ongua Peter. Joseph Jirwa reports more.
Joy and celebrations dominated the hearts of the women groups in Arivu Sub-County, Arua District during the launch of their newly established Shako groups with support from the District Woman Member of Parliament, Honorable Paparo Lilian Obiale. This comes in fulfillment of a pledge that's committed to support and enhance the women of Arua District by alleviating poverty through establishing Shako groups at parish level.
Ndiro do amade yonze amavle MP papardo iarko MP bipi agapi kaka voradi yo azini bi yamandi leni yo
tema itasi sendendere rengezo ervine ngamanji mazako school fees of Ezra.
They have been so hardworking women, like everybody knows today in the whole of Uganda that women have been empowered to have little income generating activities within their locations.
Support ya manife kan kwetita manife women's group dre sakorure rimuzo okuidre yo sende matambazo rimbazo fezu vina tita fezu aku okwalo alweto aku izongoni armadre da girko umane mpiniji okuidre atita fezuri.
According to Ngwa Peter, the coordinator for the project, the woman member of parliament has supported the women with 4 million Ugandan shillings in addition to 5,280,000 shillings collection the women had raised. However, they appreciated the support as it will help them a lot.
Tita manisu woman MP vurmalia fe okudo idre tita silingi milioni su yevo bazo milioni towi elf turi rikalia ormalia so fe nia maneke ni tuti umane mpini avabe okoi madringazo eyo atita nersi.
Such a circle group is going to help us in a way that we are going to be able to have access of money that is going to be within our reach, and a little, not a little, it's going to be cheaper in terms of movement, because when it is within, then somebody is able to easily access it.
Ma iria aka sende di du mavlem fa school wati okozuri meriti school fees ru kaniko ma afazi je ma fadozi da sendera ma wazi manitongarare te mavini mekisua le mogorira magi ma duvini sendende dara.
The SACCO Support Project's main target is to grow into a microfinance support center in the district.
Yo amani le SACCO di dozuri alu ale amani rural district women SACCO edo mazozo fadi meiji amani amavile SACCO maombo etsazu bankiru okwalo aluni muzu sende le duzu amavile banki rural district women SACCO ruda malia mutita venete Paris women SACCO esapotizo rural district CP etsozu nezo kine Paris kalina diniride mesu service di woro.
However, the beneficiaries have mentioned some of the challenges that have been faced with the other money lenders and microfinance centers.
So meaning that when you borrow money, if you don't have a clear plan of how you're going to make use of the money, it will mean that when you borrow it and you put it in a business, and if it's not able to return for you the sales back, then you eventually get defeated to pay back the loan that you have borrowed. So it makes them lag behind, even when they give them a grace period that is longer.
Aliara amate di okurudi asa mamanja yoda imalia ametoni yode lo agupi amete pireneko afarati pel ni challenge fe okuru amani ama akukuja ameto mu pariazia
SACCO azip malia ikaloni du bara kimio draw peremini pima sende do gozote manerse kamwadri amavle SACCO de alia betoni ngamu bo draw ngondin niko te erdi mari mi yozuki nikione lete ama SACCO de mazora.
The rate, the interest rate actually contributes as well to the poor payback of the loans.
According to Peter, he encouraged the women to take advantage of the money and engage in business, and he also warned against the high interest rates. This project is a
sende dini dizozo lede okwalo aluma ye biasara bani yeri maldria eka nyanyeji ani nyanya minuzi andu silingi 1000 mudri aneri eba silingi 1000 eba 70 sende asipi silingi 1000 aror mito budget ya kweri ya nera meji mi savings mombo bank yar madrutusi taleni sende daler madreba ma basende angeriku asile no ko azide mopoyo eyo opokoko eyo kamboe azide opobe girkobane business mali asende suzudi kindondo da asile amane lezo ko ezozo amuti mali arerdai
expected to be rolled in all the 4 sub-counties of Arua district and the 32 parishes. Joseph Jurwa, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Uganda Meteorological Authority have come to Nacholi sub-region to give guidance on the released weather forecast information in order to boost food production. The 3-day sensitization campaigns being done with funding from the World Food Programme and targeting district disaster management, production and agriculture and health management. Stephen Okello from Gulu reports more.
In February 2023, Uganda National Meteorological Authority released a weather forecast report that briefly explained the rainy pattern to farmers across the country. And this meeting is meant to sub-region with much detail on weather information.
This forecast for the one we are generating for Northern Uganda and West Nile sub-region, it carries a lot of details compared to the one we have issued previously last month, because the one we issued last month, if you look at it, well, it gives you indication of what is going to happen, but some detail is not yet well spelled. So this is the reason why we are here. We are coming to the place where the forecast should be generated, and we have generated the forecast which is going to be released.
Stella Sengendo, the climate risk management specialist with World Food Programs, says they have facilitated this meeting to enable all stakeholders involved go back to their respective district and intensify the fights against environmental destructions in order to regulate the climatic conditions in their region for a short while.
This climate-related information is relevant in that the advisories will help to enhance production, especially if farmers know what to do. So when you receive your forecast for the region, we want, for instance, the media people to reach out and get that message in a way that's understandable to farmers and other communities or people who do other socio-economic activities.
The Executive Director, Uganda Meteorological Authority, says government should institute Uganda National Meteorological Authority into a ministry on its own to enable them to do more in fighting climate change.
Should go back as a department under the Ministry of Water and Environment. Because we are trying to make the point that this service cannot be handled as a department. With these aspects of climate change, you need a dedicated autonomous institution and you need to empower it to do this work. And we are continuing with that struggle. We need your support.
According to Uganda National Meteorological Authority, the purpose of this meeting is meant to bring closer and break down to the local farmers the bulky weather forecast informations being released at national level. Stephen Okello, reporting for West Nile TV in Gulu City.
And to end our Nile Cast weekly news roundup only on West Nile Television, the Territorial Police of Arua District is urging the Muslim community to be security cautious during the holy month of Ramadan Kareem. The West Nile Police spokesperson Josephine Anguchia, in a statement to the press, urges the Muslims who go for prayers in the evening to ensure the safety of each other and avoid crime-related cases. Let's have more on that story.
As our Muslim brothers and sisters have started the month of Ramadan, where they are going to fast for a month, we urge them to be security conscious. As police, we shall offer them general security, but the individual security lies in the hands of the individuals. So for that matter, we really urge our Muslim brothers and sisters to be security conscious, especially at night when they wake up to go for prayers, because that is when thugs can also attack them and take advantage of such a situation in order to harm them and rob them of their properties. So we have to be careful, and where need be, they should avoid dark streets, moving through dark streets at night, and they should also avoid moving through isolated areas at night, because those will be the spots where the wrong elements can attack them, and where also possible, they should alert police. They should alert the area police for quick response.
And with that story, viewer, we've come to the end of the Nile Cast on West Nile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the Nile Cast to the end of the Nile Cast, only on West Nile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs. So follow. My name is Okumringa Christine. Have a good evening.